Hi everyone and welcome. This presentation is part of our first introductory unit in the module entitled The SPICE Project. Today we will investigate together the significance of inclusive STEM education for students with special education needs and specifically mild disabilities. This presentation aims to briefly introduce you to the necessity of inclusive STEM education for students with special education needs and specifically mild disabilities. Specifically, the presentation focuses on basic knowledge concerning inclusive STEM education, successful educational practices in this field, their outcomes, and the general necessity of such approach on students with special education needs. At the end of this presentation, you will be able to evaluate the importance of inclusive practices in STEM education and reflect on its implications for your teaching practices. But first, let's start with some important definitions. Inclusive education is, according to UNESCO's Salamanca Statement, an education that recognizes and responds to the diverse needs of all students, including those with special education needs. On the other hand, STEM education, with its acronyms to refer to the disciplines of science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics, is an interdisciplinary approach based on real-world problems that aims to foster students' inquiry, dialogue, and critical thinking. Inclusive STEM education is a newly formulated approach which refers to the provision of equal opportunities to all students in STEM education, fostering the multidimensional development of all, including those with different socioeconomic and cultural backgrounds and special education needs. Students with SEN or special education needs are students with impairments that are seen as requiring additional support. One subgroup of such students are those with mild disabilities. Students with mild disabilities may present mild intellectual disabilities, learning disorders, attention deficit hyperactivity disorders, and all mild emotional and behavioral difficulties. They consist a heterogeneous group and may present various problems during any educational intervention. This presentation will explore inclusive STEM education, conceptualizing this emerging approach and examining educational interventions from literature within inclusive STEM environments and those accommodating SEN students. We'll discuss the importance of inclusive STEM education to increase awareness in this field, and key points will be summarized at the end. Let's start our learning journey from the beginning, which is our main topic, inclusive STEM education. The 21st century sees mainstream classrooms embracing students with special education needs, leading to diverse learning profiles. As society and job markets increasingly value interdisciplinary skills, STEM education becomes essential, encouraging students to merge knowledge from various fields to solve practical problems. This shift highlights the importance of inclusive STEM classrooms where every student, regardless of needs or backgrounds, has equal learning and collaboration opportunities. As inclusive STEM education is a newly formulated approach, there is no commonly accepted definition. Nevertheless, combining some constituent parts from the definitions of STEM education and inclusive education, we can make an initial conceptualization of the term in order that we all share the same ground of understanding. Consequently, starting from its main components, inclusive STEM education has as starting points the disciplines of STEM, which are science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics, and the prerequisites of the successful implementation of an inclusive education intervention, which are students' talents, interests, and needs. Inclusive STEM education aims through the combination of such components to foster and guide all students' inquiry, dialogue, critical thinking, and diversity and disability awareness, providing and continuously ensuring the equitable access, participation, engagement, and success in STEM environments. With such way, it opens the ground for a more democratic, fair, and accessible people-oriented future society in which all future citizens are prepared to succeed. Although the definition of inclusive STEM education has not been yet developed, nevertheless the implementation of practices in its field has started to be addressed. Those practices are limited in number, but nevertheless have great added value for all of us, helping us to have first insights of how such education can be implemented. The water project at a kindergarten in California serves as a prime example of inclusive STEM education. Initiated by a teacher who noticed a student with special education needs showing a keen interest in water, the project fostered collaboration and communication among all students through engaging activities. These included creating a river in the playground, designing a water-themed collaborative journal, conducting water solubility experiments, and building water pipes for transportation. The project not only engaged all students but also significantly benefited the SENS student as evidenced by formative assessment, teachers' observations, and anecdotal records. The dinosaur intervention is another impactful example. Targeting a student with special education needs fascinated by dinosaurs, the teacher leveraged this interest to encourage the entire classroom. Activities included estimating dinosaur footprints, a virtual Smithsonian Museum tour via smartboard, dinosaur-themed play, counting exercises, and iPad counting games featuring dinosaurs. This approach fostered collaboration, communication, and significant engagement among all students, notably enhancing the learning experience for the SENS student. And just a food for thought question based on the previous interventions. Are you aware of your students' interests? How about starting observing them? Just think about it. Continuing with the primary school projects, one of such has been identified in literature and is this of the Great Explorers E-Twinning project. Second grade students with and without disabilities from two Greek schools, one in Thessaloniki and one in Syros, and one Belgian school sited in Brussels, participated in this project along with their teachers. The project involved plugged-in and unplugged activities aiming to help students develop collaboratively skills in coding, technology, math, world discovery, art, literacy, sustainability, nutrition, geometry, metacognition, and interaction. For such purpose, 6 digital islands were designed with the use of universal design of learning principle, each of which provided unique clues and adventures to each of the 4 students' team. During the project, the teachers had the role of facilitators. The added value of the project, which was evaluated through initial formative and summative assessment, showed the learners' active participation, engagement, and knowledge development. And just a food for thought question based on the previous intervention. Have you ever tried to involve mixed ability students groups in your projects? How about starting doing so? Just think about it. Continuing our presentation, despite the above inclusive STEM interventions, other 2 interventions were found referring to SENS students of mainstream schools, but were implemented in resource classrooms. Those interventions are also significant as they provide us further initiatives about the added value of STEM education in SENS students. Starting with the first intervention, this was applied in 3 6th grade students with learning disabilities in a resource classroom of a mainstream primary school in Taiwan and was called the Paper Cutting Project. The scope of the project was to combine technology with paper cutting activities, resulting in high-quality artworks. Students were initially asked to create a paper cutting lamp design, then to build and connect a circuit, to program it with the use of Microbit Editor, and to assemble their artworks. The added value of the project, which was evaluated through pre-test and post-test, was high, with students to mention improvements in their problem-solving abilities, confidence, motivation, creativity, self-assurance, and ability to overcome any difficulty arising. The second intervention, a STEM project in southern Anatolia, Turkey, involved 4 4th grade students with specific learning disabilities. Conducted in a resource room, it featured activities like ship design, studying the Earth's layers, and building model bridges. Assessments, including pre and post tests and students' diaries, highlighted its success. Notable academic improvement, heightened motivation and curiosity, and the application of new knowledge in various contexts. From all the above interventions, obvious was their significance in SENS students' multidimensional development. Interventions, whether in inclusive or resource classrooms, significantly benefited SENS students by enhancing their academic performance, problem-solving abilities, STEM discipline skills, and metacognition. Students were actively engaged and motivated by the activities, fostering teamwork and communication among all peers, regardless of special education needs. Despite such benefits, the limited number of identified interventions in literature leaves implications that the inclusion of SEN students in STEAM education seems like a distant dream. This fact was supported by researchers as well. And the final food for thought question: do you want to make inclusive STEAM education a reality? How about starting from your own classroom? Just think about it. Summing up, the inclusive STEAM education is a newly formulated approach that combines knowledge, practices, and instructional methodologies from the fields of inclusive and STEAM education. Although a non-commonly accepted definition exists for the term, little evidence exists about its implementation on SEN students. The existing research shows positive impacts of such educational approach in all students' multidimensional development and especially in those with SEN. Nevertheless, a lot should be done in order that inclusive STEAM education will not seem as a distant dream. Thank you for your attention and for joining the lesson.